UDP agent complains of malpractices in voter registration. Kenyan communities struggle hard to access potable water. ECOWAS suspend Mali's membership over second coup. This and more coming on the World Today newscast. Hello, this is the World Today newscast with me, Mariama Cham, and thanks for joining us. It was about 6 months ago that the leader of the United Democratic Party, lawyer Ousainou Darboe, accused the Barrow-led government of making plans to start rigging elections by allowing people from neighboring Senegal to register. The controversial claim has raised concerns among Gambians ahead of the national voter registration process, which commences on Saturday. Bintu Kamara, a UDP agent attached at Latukuna's Sabidi Castle Petrol Station Voter Registration Center, says they have already started detecting malpractices in the voter registration process. Farmata Kasim has the rest of that.
Voter registration is a fundamental element of the electoral process. It is that which enables a citizen of a particular country to exercise the freedom of electing their leaders. To be able to do that, one has to show willingness to have his or her name inserted in the voter register, and after completing the process, a voting card is issued. To Bintu Kamara, one of the difficulties they are encountering as agents is the malpractice in voter registration process.
We are encountering difficulties here because we caught a foreigner here who was issued a voter's card, and that is not right. The election is meant for only the Gambian citizens. You should not vote in your country and also want to vote in someone else's country. That's an offense, and that's above the law. This is one of the problems we are facing here.
However, Fatou Silla, the representative of the National People's Party, contradicted that claim, saying everything was going well, but quick to acknowledge that the only problem they faced was a man that brought a forged Alcalo document. According to her, the man was asked to go back and bring the original document. If not, he won't be allowed. She said they are going to sensitize their communities about the voter registration.
Each
party is doing their work because we are going to each compound to sensitize both the youth and all about voter registration. Even though we are agents, we still call our people to come and get their voters' cards. I am here supervising. If I don't see anyone I know, I will pick up my phone and call to remind them about the registration. For me, I am doing my work as expected.
Fatou Mboj, one of the applicants, said even though the process is slow, it is worth the wait. She urged Gambians to come out in their large numbers to register, as their vote is their voice.
As
we always emphasize that every Gambian should put the nation first. Even though we have other engagements, we should prioritize Gambia. We are asking all Gambians to step out of their houses and come out and register to show their patrioticness, because our vote is our voice.
The Independent Electoral Commission started registration to issue eligible Gambians with voters' card on the 29th of May and is expected to end on the 11th July 2021. The IEC said all applicants must have or will have attained the age of 18 by 4th December 2021 and must not be disqualified or disentitled from being registered or voting under any law. For iAfrica News, I am Fatoumata Kasim.
Male-dominated industries and occupations are particularly vulnerable to reinforcing muscular stereotypes that make it even difficult for women to excel in them. Women continue to encounter challenges in this industry, as most of the ventures dominated by men are seen by the society as a no-go area for women. But a 20-year-old girl in the Gambia is breaking the barrier as she believes that harassment from the public for doing a male-dominated work will not distract her from achieving her dream. There's more in this report. Women have been trying to break away from norms and traditional standards set by society. They have been marching for equal rights and fighting for their rightful place in the world, especially in a job market dominated by men. In the Gambia, society brands women who are into male-dominated areas such as carpentry and masonry as funny and ridiculous. Sophie Sarr, a 20-year-old girl, says she laughs at society ridiculing her for being a female masonry worker. To Sophie, nothing can stop her from practicing the career she chose for herself despite being publicly harassed.
So sineke bule afrit bule hol botinit kom do dem fen.
When you do this kind of work, don't be afraid what people will say or how they will look at you. If you mind those things, you won't progress. I, Sophia, I'm not concerned about what people say because I choose this work for myself. Nobody forces me. People always talk about me. Sometimes people will harass me because of my job, but I don't mind them. I just laugh it off because I know it's my job. No need to stand and confront people. Then I'll be waiting for my time, and I will never get angry either.
The underlying assumptions surrounding gender roles has had a negative effect on organizational culture, putting females at a disadvantage. Sophie says one of the challenges she is faced with in her work is people not willing to pay or not paying her services at all. Sophie also encouraged her mates who have learned the academic side of masonry to make best use of it by implementing what they learn in the classroom.
As we speak, it is difficult to see many women doing this type of job in the Gambia, though we have some of them. I was in the same class with some other females, and not all of them ended it because they did not want to go to the field to implement what they learned. You cannot only stay with the hard papers, no. You need to go out to the field to do the job. I have seen many things which are really a challenge to us. Because sometimes you will work with someone and the person will not pay you. Sometimes you will call to make a follow-up for your pay, but they won't respond or even reject your calls. Or you have a contract with someone and nothing is left but to get paid. They will be twisting and turning you.
Meanwhile, Sophie's boss, Abdullah Boy, CEO of Wisdom Construction and Business Enterprise, describes Sophie as a hard-working individual.
Since I
started working with her, I discovered a willingness in her. It is something very rare to find among her mates doing such kind of jobs. I was working with many others when I was at Inside Training as a center manager, but I have not seen someone so kind like her. One thing about her is that she does most of the jobs given to her, no matter the type. She always has her own way of making it work. She needs more encouragement and motivation in what she is doing. So the only way Sophie can be encouraged and motivated is to support her to further her studies to higher levels, as she already has a certificate in construction.
Sophie Sarr did many other jobs like plumbing, electrician and many others before she finally took masonry as a career in which she has been engaging for the past 4 years. The 20-year-old thanked her family for allowing her to take masonry as a career, as she recognizes their support since the beginning. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Mariama Cham. Now, several communities in Kenya continues to face series of challenges on access to clean water for domestic usage. Many people, including school children, usually travel long distances to fetch water for drinking and other purposes at their homes. As many people continue to struggle for water in the East African country, climate change remains a major threat to many others around the world, according to the United Nations. Details of that in this report.
15-year-old Sarah Nasimoi is a classics pupil. She goes to Nasaru Primary School in Kenya's Kajiado County. She is determined to study hard and become a pilot one day. However, every day she and other pupils have to make a trip to search for water before and after school.
We have to travel very far, like 15 kilometers, to fetch water for drinking, cooking and cleaning. We have a big problem.
Nasaru village is located in Kenya's Rift Valley, a semi-arid area whose harsh climate has been worsened by climate change.
We purely rely on the rainwater. When you look at our tanks here, we only rely on the rainwater. When there is no rain, it means we have got no water. There is no access to any water apart from the community dam, which is around 15 kilometers away from the school. It is the kids which ferry the water from the community dam to the school for washing, for cleaning, for drinking, all of that. It is the kids which bring the water to the school.
The United Nations says climate change is the biggest threat that many people around the world currently face. The pastoralist community here faces many challenges. Unpredictable rainfall and long drought seasons lead to difficult times for the locals. They are at times forced to travel long distances to seek pasture for their livestock.
Due to the reduction in precipitation, the ground is not able to absorb sufficient water, either because of water flowing too fast above the ground or the seasons not having sufficient water supply in the form of rainfall.
To cope with the challenge, the people have had to improvise. The residents of Nasaru village have been forced to explore different water harvesting techniques to deal with the water challenges. This one here is Olemosatet Dam. It feeds about 1,000 goats and 1,000 cows.
When water levels drop very much, we are normally forced to go elsewhere to feed our cattle, where we have to pay for water.
Countries around the globe are set to celebrate the World Environment Day on June 5th. When the United Nations will be urging people worldwide to join efforts to restore destroyed ecosystems. In the meantime, people of Nasaru will be hoping to survive the difficulties they currently face, and Sarah will be working hard to realize her dreams amid the challenges.
Now, lawyer Usaini Dawo, the Secretary General and leader of the United Democratic Party, tells a rally in Bruford that corruption is an endemic in the Gambia and that a government under the party will consider corruption as an enemy. He described the situation as so grave that a one-term presidency from the 2021 election wouldn't be enough for any government to remedy the situation. He called on politicians to be more tolerant despite the build-up to the December presidential elections. More in this report by Omar Ahmad Toure.
Lawyer Dabo argues that although the government under former President Yahya Jammeh was accused of corruption, the accusers are today condoning the same practice.
We will form a government corruption.
We will form a government which will be an enemy to corruption. There are many wrong things happening in this country because corruption is endemic. Corruption is deeply rooted here. I will call it a rat race. Someone is building a story building, I will also build one. And someone has a new car, I will also get a new one.
The leader of the United Democratic Party argues that the Gambia is faced with multiple problems which no politician can fix in 5 years from now. He, however, pledged the implementation of policies in response to the need of Gambians in terms of development once elected into office.
The Gambia is facing a lot of problems, and any politician who promises to fix it in the next 5 years is not telling you the truth. However, agriculture, food security, nutrition are things which, if you put us in power, will be addressed, and hunger will become a history in this country. If you see youth embarking on the back way, they lack opportunities. So therefore, our youth employment, our youth empowerment, if you vote us in, you will see difference in that area.
He told arousing supporters in Kombono that Gambian youth will not embark on deadly backway in search for better lives in the West, as a government under UDP will provide for their needs right at home. Criticizing the current situation of health delivery service, he says the terrible situation will be overhauled. The presidential hopeful accused some politicians of holding political vendetta against people who they differ with in opinion.
If I do not espouse and embrace your views, does not mean that I'm ignorant. Does not mean that I am insensitive to the problems of this country. It just shows that you have not been able to convince me as to the validity of your position. We cannot keep on blaming the electors of this country for the state in which we are. Nor can we continue to blame the electors of this country because of the dwindling nature of our political fortunes. We cannot do that.
Mr. Dabo encourages people to acquire voters' cards in order to effect the change they are yearning for. He was speaking during the mega rally in Burfoot, in which the national presidents of UDP, Bajamba Bojang, Ajiya Munda Uyabo, and Rohi Malik Law were presented to the party supporters. Reporting for iAfrica TV, this is Umar Ahmadu Toure.
And now Zimbabwean authorities are working to improve agricultural products as part of efforts to boost the country's exports. There has been growing demand of different varieties of vegetables from several countries, including the United Arab Emirates. This has further propelled the government to expand its agricultural activities to involve more farmers in the farming system. Details in this report.
It's rapid, non-stop and thorough work on Churchill Farm as harvesting of Mange 2 peas is underway. 13 hectares of the crop have been grown here, all of it for export. Consignments of the freshest vegetables are dispatched from this packhouse 3 times a week, destined for markets in Europe. But there are plans actively underway to open up new territories. Lucrative orders have come in from the United Arab Emirates.
The contract that we've got at the moment with the United Arab Emirates is got to do with garlic, it's got to do with ginger, it's got to do with potatoes, it's got to do with onions and so forth. Those we can give to small-scale farmers because we will not be able to grow them on our own farms because of rotations as well. And the numbers are big, we're talking between 5,000, 10,000 tons, and that cannot be grown on one crop. So we see this as an opportunity that's going to open for us in Zimbabwe, which is a big window for outgrowers.
Expanding hectarage and inclusivity fits into a national strategy to expand production from 2020 levels.
We're on 114,000 tons with a value at around US dollars 77 million. And we obviously projecting that we can triple that in the next 3 years. It's critical for us to have all farmers on board. So we're very much focused on developing new farmers. It depends, and also there are sort of sector specific. So we're not trying to say farmers who have been subsistence farmers must come on board and export blueberries. It's not going to happen like that. But we will definitely support in the crops that make sense financially and where we can lobby and represent those farmers.
The horticulture industry wants government to speed up trade negotiations and finalize protocols with key markets like China, as well as ease export processes which will enable farmers to be competitive. That, combined with a favorable climate, will help the country quickly reap the low-hanging fruit that the sector represents for the economy.
In that report on the demand for more improvement of the agricultural production in Zimbabwe, will take us to a quick break and we'll be right back with the rest of the news on the World Today News. So stay with us.
The pride we take in our brand, the work we put into constantly change the landscape and elevate real estate in the Gambia, it's compared to none. From inception, our goal was to add value to the beautiful Gambian landscape. That's why we are proud innovators of community estates. Kololi Sands is an exceptional piece of work, tailored for ultimate convenience and luxury, to bring you an element of finesse that is rare but unique in its own. This is also our pride and joy, and we welcome you to the exquisite beauty right here in Kololi and right here on the waterfront. lowly sands, feel the ocean breeze at your doorstep.
Welcome back, and this is still the World Today newscast. Now, the Economic Community of West African States has suspended Mali's membership from the regional organization following a second coup by the military junta in less than 12 months. The West African Regional Bloc has renewed its continued commitment in restoring a peaceful and democratically elected government in the French-speaking country. The current transitional leader, Colonel Assimi Goïta, who himself attended the extraordinary in Accra summit, is yet to react to the ECOWAS decision. Here is more.
The West African leaders arrived in Ghana's capital, Accra, on Sunday for the extraordinary summit to discuss the political crisis in Mali.
We must critically examine the dynamics of the current situation and make informed decisions. I'm thus using this opportunity to reiterate, on behalf of ECOWAS, our continued commitment to the peaceful transition in Mali with a basic goal of restoring democratic government and working for the stability of Mali and of our region.
This emergency summit became crucial after the military in Mali took over power for the second time within 9 months. The junta, headed by Colonel Assimi Goïta, who now holds himself as the transitional president of the West African country, led both coups. Leaders of the regional bloc say it is in breach of the transitional agreement process laid down last year after the first coup. The ECOWAS leaders were held up in the meeting for more than 4 hours. The discussions did not conclude on the immediate reimposition of economic sanctions against Mali. But the leaders have suspended Mali from the ECOWAS bloc and say they will continue to work with the country until it returns to democratic rule.
One of the decisions of the heads of state is that they should ensure that in the next few days there is a civilian prime minister who will form a government, a transitional government for the rest of the period. As you're aware, we have only about 8 months left.
There has not been any reaction to the decisions by ECOWAS from Mali's junta leader, Colonel Assimi Goïta, who also attended the summit, but he has pledged to ensure that elections are held in February next year to restore the country to democratic governance.
Now, with the fast-growing digital migration, business operations as well as individual social errands are getting increasingly compatible with the World Wide Web. Along the line of scientific advancement, tech applications and their services stand a chance of being converted for development of destruction depending on the usage. The exponential growth of the internet is one end, avails criminals the right ammunition to pursue their experts in hunting victims at the comfort zones of their illegal offices. Details of that in this report by Sohna Tunkara.
The carnage of cybercrime for the use of computer on the internet as instrument to further illegal activities surfaced in the 21st century. Crimes such as identity theft, fraud, money laundering and pornography occurred everywhere, posing a threat to any internet user. It has been argued that the outbreak of coronavirus has also given birth to an unwavering impact on women even in the Gambia. The virtual traffic does not only relate to economic drainage, but also psychological upsets for victims of cybercrimes. Instances of leakage of either real or graphically make-up digital portraits with attempt to hold women at ransom or just to degrade their status in society have been recorded. Cases are not left unattended to, as law enforcement authorities and Human Rights Watch are also found within the threat of cybercrime issues. The business development manager of Joko Labs Banjul, Madeline Ileleji, exposed cybercriminals for the usage of digital production as tool to suppress personal progress of well-meaning people in society.
So in digital security, we would say to protect yourself, what you do offline, it's the same thing that you have to do online. Make sure that you are mindful of the type of information you share with the general public. Make sure you're also mindful of the type of images that you share with friends and people you also have intimate relationship.
The Gambia Police assured that special arrangements apply to fraudulent use of online banking, urging the public to report cases on the toll-free 112 line. Public Relations Officer of the Gambia Police Force, Superintendent Lamin Jai, acknowledged reports of cyber targets on women, but was quick to blame the culture of silence in the adjudication of such crimes.
The laws of the Gambia does not cover a lot of issues that are happening on the computer or on the internet regarding cybercrime. And so that's a challenge sometimes. Certain things that are definitely chargeable offenses somewhere else, we may find it difficult to charge somebody, but we are doing our utmost best to ensure that issues of cybercrime, especially when it is directed to women, are being dealt with.
Another aspect of the challenge is the fact that specific laws governing cybercrime activities are not in place. The situation, in fact, led to a march passed in September calling on government and stakeholders to take measures to cope cybercrimes in the Gambia. For African News, Sohna Tunkara.
In that report by Sohna Tungara on availing criminals the right ammunition to pursue their expertise in hunting victims at the comfort zones of their illegal offices will bring us to the end of the World Today newscast. I am Mariama Cham. Thanks for your company and bye for now.